The Buffalo Bills win a wild one against the Jaguars, 27-24 in Jacksonville today to move on to the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. We are going to recap this victory and a ton more on this episode of Circling the Wagons.
To my friend Nate and all the listeners of this podcast, no one circles the wagons than Nate Discate. Circle the wagons, Buffalo.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Hey, hey, let's go Buffalo! Hey, hey, let's go Buffalo!
The Bills make me wanna shout!
Welcome to the Circling the Wagons podcast, a podcast discussing the Bills all year round with interviews, news, recaps, and insightful fan discussion. Most times. Here's your host and lifelong Bills fan, Nate.
What is up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to another episode of Circling the Wagons, a Buffalo fan base podcast. I'm your host, Nate. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this playoff victory edition of Circling the Wagons. The Bills win on the road in the playoffs for the first time in 33 years. Huge comeback for the Buffalo Bills. Way to win that one. I have my co-hosts for this episode, John and Mike, to recap this entire thing, talk about the ins and outs, the sweet, sassy, Molassy plays of the game, the Wall of Fame, the Wall of Shame, stats of the game, all that fun stuff, hot takes from Bills Mafia on Twitter and X, and a ton more. So I'd like to welcome my buddies John and Mike. John, I'll start off with you. John, what a whirlwind of a game that was. Back and forth, back and forth. They look good, they look bad, they look good, they look great, they look bad. Lots of things to take in. How are you feeling after that win?
Feeling great. I want to play off that 33-year stat that you put in there. The last time the Bills won a road playoff game, the Jaguars did not exist.
Wow, that's a good one.
That's what she said.
That's funny. I did not know that because I remember the Bills losing to the Jaguars in 1996. It was at the wild card round as well in Jacksonville, but I think that might have been the last game that Jim Kelly played as a Buffalo Bill.
Kelly got hurt, and that was it. That's exactly right. The Jaguars and the Panthers were first introduced in '95. So
cool. It felt revenge. They beat them the last time the Bills played them was when they ended the drought in 2017. They played them in Jacksonville that season, the playoffs. And my co-host Mike was there for that game, and the Bills got some sweet, sweet revenge after that loss, a close game from a very, very good Jacksonville team coming into this. Mike, how are you feeling, man?
Amazing. Do you guys feel like if they got through the Jags, they can beat anybody? Like, didn't it feel like that was a really tough draw, and the path to the Super Bowl is wide open?
Yeah, I'll start off on that one. Yeah, I agree 100%, Mike. And you were texting me like earlier this. He's like, "Is my weird for feeling confident about this game?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "But I don't feel as confident as you do." But this game was a tough one. I agree. It was almost like people were saying that through the national media. This is the AFC Championship game right here. Who wins this game goes to the Super Bowl. So no, I wholeheartedly believe that as well.
I disagree. I think out of all the playoff teams, I think the Jags would have been my second favorite draw for the wild card after the Steelers. And I don't want to play Houston. I don't play Denver. I don't play New England. So
you're a cynic, God. That's the difference.
It's part of it's the playoffs, and every team is hard. But like, if I had to pick, I'd rather play the Steelers or the Chargers out of all the other teams. And
Can I ask why they didn't scare you? Why the Jaguars didn't scare you as much? Why you wanted to play them?
I don't know if I wanted to play anybody, but I wanted to play them. Like after the Steelers, I think the Jags were my second choice. I think because the Bills could exploit their pass defense, which they kind of did. There were some bumps along the way and some drops and things like that, but I mean, look at the receivers. The receiver, like 204 out of the 273 yards passing was from receivers. Usually, it's tight ends and running backs. Their top three receiving yardage players were receivers this game, so that did work. And the Jags aren't the best against tight ends. You would have thought that like Knox and Kincaid, who compete, they it was 6 for 58 between the two of them. They Kincaid did have the nice touchdown. That they would have been more involved in this game, but they went to the receivers this game, and it was working.
Yeah, I was worried about Jacksonville's ability to stop the run. So when you look at our offense, you're thinking, well, what's the strength? It's the run game, right? And luckily, like you said, the Jaguars aren't as good against tight ends because that is the strength of the Bills' passing game. But they didn't end up needing it. So yeah, no, I was thinking this wasn't a good draw. The only benefit I think is that the Bills really, really struggle, I think, against teams with very good defensive lines and pass rushes. That's where the Bills struggle with. And if you look at the Texans, like you mentioned, the Eagles, who are no longer in it, teams with stout defensive lines. And the Jaguars have a good defensive line. I don't think they're one of the best at rushing the passer, but they're a good one. Much better against stopping the run. So that's why I was looking at this as like, this was a tough draw. This was a tough game, especially they just won the last 8 games, right, of the season. The trade for Jacoby Myers, their pass game looks better. They have a better quarterback than a lot of the teams in the playoffs. I wouldn't say it's head and shoulders above them, but I mean, he's a hot quarterback. He's doing great right now.
For sure. But at the same time, I wasn't the most worried about their pass game. I was more worried about their run game because Travis Etienne and Michelle, and they did have some success in the run game, but they didn't stick with it. And I think that was a coaching mistake on the Jaguars' part. They should have been doing that the whole game. Maybe they got out coached. I don't know what happened there, but
so
I don't care.
So Mike, before I talk on that point, what did you think?
Well, I don't think it could have been any closer. I think the difference comes down like it felt to me like the Jags were certainly at different points throughout the game, like the better team. Maybe like it feels weird to say, but if it wasn't for Josh Allen, like right, like he was Superman and like just like so beat up, but put the team on his back, and that to me was the difference.
The fact that Josh Allen,
it couldn't have been any closer, right? And we're getting into the specific plays, but right, their kicker is the best in the league. And like I was so like the play before halftime, right? Like it was so enraging how right, you're like, oh, long pass, fine. They cannot get up and get this off. And somehow allegedly they did, like, even though we know they didn't, like that was such thank goodness he missed that kick.
That was the football gods. The football gods were like, no, that wasn't right. We're gonna
that's some bullshit. Yeah, that's moving that ball all the way over. Yeah, you're right,
man. But it couldn't have been any closer. And you just look at the individual playmaker, like Allen, like got so beat up, right? Like the two, and you guys probably felt the same. Like his momentum stops, whistle blows, and then 2 Jags like fall on his head as he's bleeding out of his ear.
That wasn't just me, right? You saw that too. Yeah. That was ridiculous. Like it was like a knee to the head. It wasn't even like necessary. Like he didn't get blocked into him. He just here's an extra. Here's a little something for you.
Here's an extra. Huge dude falling on your head.
Or like that Josh Allen scored the touchdown. He broke the plane, and then Josh Hines Allen gave him like the old shoulder drop tackle. So that's why he hurt his knee. Yeah. Anyway, God.
Yeah, like hyped on his knee, and then it wasn't the Jags' fault there, but like how he smashed his hand into the helmet, right? But like, how beat up can you be and still put the team on your back like that? It's wild.
Yeah, Josh Allen is the epitome of, that Captain America sequence, which was almost in every Captain America movie where he gets the crap kicked out of him. He's down. He just like finds a way to get back up. And he's like
that's
bloody.
Every movie, bro.
Yeah, that's every. Okay, this is the only one I can think of at the moment. I hear no bell. Okay, all right. I guess it's on every. All right, every good movie where the superhero somehow comes back and doesn't get defeated all at once. Yeah, so it's just like just.
I think
started.
That's like every myth. That's like the hero's journey, right? That's every single story ever told.
Anyway, yeah, it was David and Goliath. It was every. Oh man, yeah, but he just Josh Allen's toughness. I mean, we're gonna get to Wall of Fame, Wall of Shame later, but I mean that's up there for sure. John, to your point, which you said earlier about the Jaguars and Liam Cohen, like why they didn't just pound the hell out of the Bills defense when the game was it was always within a score. It was never that they were down by too many that they had to pass. Like that was never the case. So it was either good on Bobby Babbage for disguising coverages, thinking like, oh, we can take advantage of these looks, or what's probably more likely is the head coach is like, I don't care, let's throw the ball, right? Like these guys aren't that good. So
The Jags should have run a lot more. Their yards per carry was so good. Both running backs. It didn't make any sense for them to not keep doing that. He even said it when they interviewed him, like after, like in between the half. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got to keep running it more," and because we had 8 yards per carry and this and that, but they didn't. I don't know if it was just like to say it. I don't know.
see, that's the kind of thing that if Sean McDermott did that, Bills Mafia would be calling for his head, right? Like, you guys are running it, at one point that Tootin guy or whatever is 14 yards a carry. Like, just keep giving it to him. ETN, like, those are the 2 players that the Bills could not stop, and then once a drive, they like stuff them. And then they're like, well, I guess we got to pass it every down. If the Bills did the same thing, Sean McDermott would be fired tomorrow, but they didn't. So yeah, let's go into, John, to your point about, everything going on. Josh Allen had a great game. Let's go into stats of the game real quick. This is a good comment by Robert Wagner. This year is Josh's Odyssey epic. I like that one. Another example of a protagonist, making it out in the end, when the odds were against him. I love it. Josh Allen, 28 for 35, 273 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, only took 1 sack. Leading rusher, James Cook, 15 carries, 46 yards only 3.1 yards per carry. Josh Allen just behind that, 11 carries for 33 yards, 2 touchdowns, though, rushing. Leading receiver, like John mentioned, the top 3 are wide receivers. Khalil Shakir, this was insane. I didn't realize it until just now. 12 receptions on 12 targets. 12 receptions on 12 targets, 82 yards, 0 touchdowns. Where was this guy all season? Why didn't we get him the ball more often? Brandon Cooks, unsung hero, in my opinion. 3 receptions on 5 targets, 58 yards, no touchdowns, but he did have that long 36-yard catch. And he probably had another one that wasn't called for the Buffalo Bills, if everyone remembers, that was taken away for the Bills, even though the Jaguars had one that was identical that was called a catch. I think it was Jacoby Myers had that catch. Keon Coleman, 1 reception on 1 target for 36 yards. And Dawson Knox, 3 receptions on 3 targets for 30 yards. And then Dalton Kincaid, 3 receptions on 5 targets for 28 yards and a touchdown. So great play by there. The only fumble for the Buffalo Bills was that Ray Davis fumble. All-Pro, first-team All-Pro Ray Davis fumble, which is not common. So that's something that we can't expect to happen that often. Leading tackler for the Bills is Shaq Thompson. And then we have interception from him too. Shaq Thompson, 1 interception, leading tackler. Cole Bishop had an interception, 1 sack for the Buffalo Bills, and that was by Greg Rousseau. So not a ton of pressure today by the Bills defense, but had some good plays in there, made plays when it mattered. Trevor Lawrence, 18 for 30, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Travis Etienne, 10 carries for 67 yards, 6.7 yards per carry. What's his name? Bashal Tootin. I never heard of him. 4 carries, 51 yards. They were getting 12.8 yards per carry on that one drive. And then they're just like, you know what? No, we're not going to bring him back in for the rest of the entire game. Trevor Lawrence, 6 carries for 31 yards. And then the leading receiver, Parker Washington, 7 receptions on 12 targets for 107 yards and a touchdown. So obviously he looked really good for the Jaguars. And those were stats of the game. So let's go into Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game.
Sweet Sassy Molassy. Get out the checkbook and pay Grandma for the rubdown.
By the way, if you're in here today and watching the live stream, if you want to give us your Sweet Sassy Molassy plays of the game while we're doing ours, or I can get to yours after, definitely feel free to do so. Would love to get you guys in. John, I'll start with you first. What was your Sweet Sassy? Is it going to be the same for all 3 of us? Should we do honorable mentions now? All 3 across the board, right?
Well, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I have 3 plays that I liked a lot. But for me, the Sweet Sassy Molassy, they've been running this screenplay all season. And then they finally ran a fake screen. Dalton Kincaid touchdown. That's Sweet Sassy Molassy, right? They've been playing up the whole year just for that one play. They got it.
That was impressive.
I'm going to give it to that. I know there's a couple other plays, but for me, seeing that, taking advantage of the defense in that way, I'm gonna give it to that play.
That was a good play. It's not what I thought you were going to say, but I think I like it. You're going for a deep cut on that one. One that not everyone would automatically think to, but yeah, so I was critical of Joe Brady for not bringing up or not having enough wrinkles in the offense during the postseason. There was one. Finally, he set up the entire season so that he could do that in the playoffs when it mattered the most, right? So I like that one. John or Mike, what's your sweet sassy Molassy play of the game?
I like the Josh Allen sneak that went for 10 yards.
Oh, the touch point. Oh man, I like it.
He had another one that went for 5 yards too. And you would think this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, like they know they're gonna do it, and those couple plays, it didn't matter.
No,
Offensive line.
I've seen it too often where a team is like Bills, right? Driving. Oh, they're gonna do it. And it just stalls out and dies, and the game's over. And like that, like. Oh, are they going to do it? And like they close that distance from where, it felt like I didn't have the consternation that I usually feel between the 30 and the 5. It's like they went down there and like they did it.
Yeah.
that they did.
and that 10-yard tush push was a key.
Lots of credit to Gilliam and Torrance and like the offensive linemen. Real good stuff.
When that happened live, were you like, go down? Or was that the only one?
Yeah, it's like, as soon as he got the first down, it's like, don't drop the ball, don't fumble it. Was what I was thinking.
Would you have played the final Bills touchdown any differently? Any thought to kneeling it? Like a super short, right, half yard, right? Because like, man, with their kicker and giving it back to them with a minute, like I almost trust the Bills offense. You give them three tries to get 2 yards. You have 3 timeouts. They have 0. Then giving the ball back to Trevor Lawrence with the best kicker in the league. Like if there's any way to get more.
I thought about it a lot. I don't like, so I thought my first knee jerk reaction was to kneel it, but then you're losing 1.5 yards. So you don't want to give up any yardage. So then the next option is
I could kneel it within a foot.
So the next option is you just
push kneel. You literally get pushed into a kneel.
You do what they did, or run it with one of your running backs and just like stop, right? Because like they let us score anyway,
right?
So you could have probably just got to the inch yard line. But there's two.
I think I could have.
But there's two other things. They could have either gotten a penalty or lost yardage, a false start, or maybe the Jags did try and then we lost a couple of yards, or a fumble, like any number of things. They have to score anyway, no matter what.
Yeah, but we've lost with 13 seconds left. Like you're giving it to them with a minute. I thought they left too much time on. That would have been such a heartbreaking way to lose. Like Josh, like taking the ball out of Josh's hand, not taking the ball out, but right, like he's gone down, done everything and won the game for you. And then, because we didn't take another 40 seconds off, we lose.
Yeah. You didn't have to kneel it down to 2 seconds, but just like one play, bring it down. You got 3 timeouts, like you said, Mike. So you do another sneak on 2nd and goal with 24 seconds left or whatever it would have been. And then you don't get it, timeout. 3rd and goal, don't get it, timeout. 4th and goal, you don't, it's game anyway. So no, I agree 100%.
But it's a tough call. But I think they still made the right call because the Jags had no timeouts left. They can't run the ball anymore, which is what they're best at. And Lawrence was looking not great this game already.
But their kicker can hit it from 70.
Okay, so worst case scenario, they go in overtime. That's the worst case. Best case, we stop them and win, which is
that I thought Music City Miracle, like, worst case, the game's over. We're going on.
We've seen the worst cases Bills fans come.
No, we've seen lots of. There's worst cases happen so many times.
I feel like that's a good point.
I think they made the right decision. In fact, like one of my honorable mentions, I think was McDermott and the coaching staff. I think they coached the Jaguars this game.
I think it makes sense only from the fact of what John said about the penalties is what really scared me the most. I think they were going to get that yard or 2 no matter what, but the penalties are what scares me because now all of a sudden, all it takes is one false start, right? And then you're what?
Now you're on the 6 yard line.
Which we saw happen.
And you still need a touchdown. Yeah.
Still need a touchdown.
Get the touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, of course that would happen on like fourth down, right? Like when they needed out. Now we're backing them up, but yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it was a risk because like Mike said, you only needed to get to the 50-yard line. That is the shortest like field goal line I've ever seen in history when they start with a ball. They have to get like one first down.
Like it worked out on that kickoff, but
yeah, it was a great coverage. Great coverage to set them up right down there. It's funny as yeah. So I'm going to go to my sweet Sassy Molassy play. It's going to be the Cole Bishop interception, which I figured you guys were going to do, but I like the deep cuts that you guys are doing, the important games, the important plays of the game that led up to the end game. So maybe the Cole Bishop interception is my sweet Sassy Molassy play of the game, but could also be, the Gettysburg of the game or whatnot, but they were winning by then. So yeah, it was.
Dude, that was weird too, right? Number 27. Typically get to number 24 so that the Bills win 27-24. Like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, that was definitely one of my top three. I do want to give one more honorable mention. The 40-yard post pattern, Allen to Cooks on that game-winning drive.
Oh yeah.
Like Allen, dude was in his face. Just he knew where the receiver was going to be, chucked it up, and Cooks caught it, which was nice. So I think that's in my top three.
Dude can get open. He just catching is 50-50.
Yeah, I know. I think that 25-26 yarder, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if that was conclusive evidence to overturn it. I feel like that.
No, I agree, but it shouldn't be that close.
Yeah. And he's hit a few drops in other games, but he's probably their best deep threat right now. And now that Gabe Davis is injured, they don't have very healthy receivers left. They got Shakir, they have Cooks and Coleman. Shavers, who was injured during the game and came back, but we don't know the severity of that because Ty Johnson last game got injured, came back, and he's out this week. Other than that, they have Mecole Hardman on a practice squad, Gosnell, which we saw in the preseason, undrafted free agent rookie. We liked him in the preseason, but he's on the practice squad. And then Curtis Samuel maybe returned from IR. Not looking good at receiver.
Doubt it. No, it's not.
Palmer's on IR now after last week. So also injuries.
Yeah, dude, so many injuries. This is
Jordan Poyer being hurt really is going to hurt a lot because now we're counting on DeMar Hamlin to come back from IR.
Dude, if he's not in the practice window, I don't even know if Hamlin might be in the practice window actually.
Hamlin is. Yeah.
He is, okay. Yeah. These are the plays, Mike.
But you don't want Hamlin starting. That's the whole thing.
No, you don't. That's the play that Jacoby Myers caught, right?
Yep. Yeah, so it's inconsistency with the officiating, right? That's what this comes down to.
Then this wasn't a catch. Make it make sense, how are you going to look at this one and say it was a catch when it was reviewed and decided it was a catch? And then you look at this one, you're like, nope, touch the ground. That's not a catch.
Ridiculous. And the whole snafu with the at the end of the first half, like you guys were talking about, with no consistency. No consistency.
I'd like them to be consistently called for the Bills. That would be ideal. But, barring that. Yeah.
Maybe it's not that's kind of conspiracy, but
I love conspiracy theories.
Animals respond better when it's inconsistent, right? It's if you give the rat the pellet every single time, it's but if it's sometimes,
yeah,
keeps this coming back.
Wait, so if we were getting too many good calls, then we'd get used to it too much and we'd like it. It'd be like our little crack or cocaine or whatever it was.
We're talking about it, yeah.
We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves.
Wanting it, right. If you got what you wanted all the time, right? You'd be so bored.
I just want it most of the time. It doesn't have to be all the time.
No,
give me three-quarters of it.
I would not be bored if the Bills got a Super Bowl every time. Never be bored.
I'll be wake me up for when the playoffs start.
I feel like it's a Twilight Zone. The guy maybe he's a pool hustler or something, and then he wins. He's a gambler, wins every time. John, you're degenerate. You like it because there's uncertainty, and then when you get it, there's that dopamine hit, that sweet, sweet rush, boom, into your veins. If you got it every time.
Oh, it depends if I win or not.
But this one you would win all the time. That dopamine would be less and less. You'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Twilight episode, I mean, there would always be a catch, right? Usually.
Yeah, that's the catch. He couldn't lose. He won every time and then hated it.
Why would I hate it? Why would I hate if the Bills won every Super Bowl?
Yeah. I get what you're saying, Mike. I get what
I
you're
don't
saying.
get
I
it.
get it.
I don't understand.
Mike's like, John's like, I can't imagine such
Okay, everybody who's listening right now, like, why would you hate it if the Bills won every Super Bowl?
I wouldn't hate it, but to Mike's point, like it wouldn't have the same appeal if you won it every time. But
No,
I'd
I
like
get
to
the-
experience
yeah,
that before I decide. let the Bills win the next 5 Super Bowls, and I'll decide if I like it or
Pretty sure if the Bills win the next 50 Super Bowls, I wouldn't go insane. Contrary to the Twilight Zone enthusiasts.
Josh finds the cure for aging, and then he just stays like 30 years old.
Well, I mean, like, whoever comes in after Josh, they can just keep winning, right?
Robert Wagner says, I'd sell a limb for the Bills to win every time. So he's with you, John.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
John's
In
like,
the
I'm not
show,
even-
that's what the guy thought too, until he actually experienced it.
I mean, I guess if you're losing limbs every time, that would probably not be good for you. But in general, just if that was it, like you're just winning Super Bowls with no repercussion, like other than your sanity, I don't think my sanity would suffer.
Yeah, I think but as humans, we're conditioned to not be able to get used to getting what we want all the time, or maybe even like a majority of the time. So we wouldn't know what to do with it as people, as human beings, right?
I think I would be fine with the Bills winning every Super Bowl.
Okay. I would probably too. Like I said, I'd like to see what it's like though, and then I'll make the decision. So
Starting this year. Let's go.
Let's go. This, I mean, just in general, I feel like this is a really good start to the year. Maybe this is something, I mean, John, you just mentioned the injuries, which was a huge like bring down from where we were. I was super high until you started mentioning all the wide receivers that were injured. But hopefully we can start getting more of the tight ends involved. Jackson Hawes could come on. He didn't have a catch today. Ty Johnson, I don't know if he'll be back next week, but he helps in the run game or the passing game as well. We're just gonna have to be more creative. That's what. Hey, if Joe Brady wants that head coaching gig in Baltimore, got to make it work.
And then we're talking about like, when is Bernard going to be back? When is Harrison going to be back? At Oliver, he might be a couple more weeks still, and maybe. So
He hasn't even cleared the practice window.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions still on that, but I think Poyer is very significant right now, and also
Gabe Davis,
the receivers. Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's go into Wall of Fame in today's win.
Wow.
All right, I'll start off this one. Obviously, going to put Cole on there. Why am I blanking? Cole Bishop on there. I was going to say Cole Beasley. Cole Bishop, 4th and Cole, fourth quarter. Cole Beasley coming in to win it all for us. Cole Beasley, I'm going to put on the Wall of Fame for that pass breakup or the interception to seal it. He had a good game besides that, but that was tremendous. I have a couple of honorable mentions, but wanted you guys to get yours in. Mike, I'll go next to you. Who's on your Wall of Fame?
Bishop was great. I think Tre'Davious White arguably had a better day, like some key breakups, right? Like 3rd and 10 to stop or break up a Jags touchdown, and then the play at the end, he caused it.
I like that one a lot, Mike. Trey White deserved to be on there. I'm glad you said it.
But I mean, I think it starts and ends with Josh Allen, but you can't say it. Just the can we call them injuries? Like, I think you could say any of them could have taken the normal quarterback out of the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I don't know if we win the game.
There were at least 4 different injuries I counted today that they mentioned. At least one was the foot injury going into this game, and then he had the potential concussion, and then he hurt his finger on throwing the ball, and he hit Osiris Torrance's helmet, and then the last one where the hip tackle I mentioned, or the hip drop tackle where his knee got hurt, and he played through it, man. Agreed. Josh Allen's toughness was on my list. Mike or John, what about you? Wall of Fame.
So I have 4 honorable mentions, but I'm going to do my Wall of Fame first. And it's Josh Allen. 20 of 35, 80% completion percentage, 306 total yards, 3 touchdowns. And as you guys are talking about, he got his head smashed, he got his hand smashed, he banged up his knee. He's been playing on a bum foot. Legendary. Complete warrior. Josh Allen is the Wall of Fame. For my honorable mention, Shakir, 12 targets, 12 catches. Super reliable, yards after the catch. Shaq Thompson, all over the field, stuffing up runs, got the interception. Trey White, lots of passes defense. He like Trey White of old, looked amazing. And then Prater, 5 for 5 on his kicks, including a 47 and 50-yard field goal. Those were all key. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, those were good ones. John, I didn't even think about Matt Prater. I mean, I thought about it, but I didn't, even write it down. It just, came back after being injured for a few weeks now. Yeah, when it mattered the most. I love it. I like how Robert Wagner says over on YouTube, we do not deserve Josh Allen. And I think about that constantly. How many of those injuries would that knock a lot of other quarterbacks out from? At the end of the game, he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. He says in the, press conference at the end of the game, oh, I'm good. We're fine. We're moving on to next week. And he's in a ton of pain. He'll not let you know that. But yeah, he's a warrior. Mr. Big comes in. He says, thank you, Lord,
you
for
think
helping.
he's in a ton of pain? But he's not letting us know that?
Yeah.
Like a prey animal?
Yeah, because if they limp?
Like if they show weakness, like then you'd be singled out and attacked. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, he does not show. I don't know. He's just tough, man. He's just tough. All right. So that was Wall of Fame. Now
I thought he truly didn't. Like he's huge.
Yeah,
and powerful.
He just regenerates. Just superpower, like Captain America and every other protagonist or every other hero in every other movie that's ever been made. I'm trying to think of the first movie ever. Thinking about biblical reference. I'm trying to think of like the first stories ever told. I'm like, Jesus, everyone thought he was down and out. He came back. He's done for. He's done. He's gone. He's out. No way he's making a comeback. 3 days later. Anyway.
Every story, man.
Every story. Yeah. All right. Let's go into Wall of Shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right, Wall of Shame. Mike, I'll start with you on this one. Do you have any Wall of Shames for this win?
Darius Slay and Billy watching the Eagles get bounced. Could be on his way to the Super Bowl. It's a bad decision.
I love that one. I love that one, Mike. I have not thought about Darius Slay in a few days. Is there any way though he's just like, all right, fine, I'll play. They get to like the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. He's like, fine, I'll play. Like, or the Bills just be like, no.
I would go hat in hand.
I made some mistakes. You're smart. I'm dumb. The Happy Gilmore scene, right? You're very good looking. Yeah, I would.
Attractive.
I would.
Yeah.
Especially because none of the away games now are going to be in Buffalo, or none of the playoff games, unless they get to the AFC Championship game, are going to be in Buffalo. Even the Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco. There's almost no chance they're going to put it in Buffalo again, right?
If the Steelers and Chargers win, and then the Bills and Chargers win, then we get a home game.
We get a home game.
But his chief complaint was completely made moot.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
What was dumb about that, which I just thought of, was he was like, his wife's like, no, I'm not going to Buffalo. It's like, you don't have to live there. You're going to be there for like 8 weeks. Tops.
Yeah.
Rent an apartment.
They're just trying to say something. He just wanted to go back to Philly, and that was the whole deal.
But once you know you can't, well, you think he was just like trying to force the hand.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the best excuse that you can have as a husband or boyfriend or whatever. Be like, my wife doesn't want to do it. What are you going to say to that? We'll tell her not to. Like, okay, tell her. That reminds me of a time. It's a quick story aside. We had this about how like people it's not just me that's afraid of my wife. It's other people, other men. Cause we had a refrigerator installed in our house. Like, a few years ago, we got rid of our old one. We bought a new one, and it took like 3 weeks longer to come than we thought it was going to. So like we thought like it was supposed to come a certain day, and it wasn't able to make it. And then it got set back like a few days. And then it was like a week or two. It was like this whole process. And then when we finally get it, when we like move the old fridge out into the garage, get it out of the way, we're ready for the new fridge. The moving guys come in. They're like, hey, take a look at this. Is this okay? And you look at the side of the fridge, and there's a little dent in it. let us know if that's a big deal. And I was like, well, I don't care. It's going to be on the side of the fridge. Who cares, right? Like, who really sees it? We've been waiting this long. And then I look at the dent, and it's like a softball-sized dent. Like, it looks like someone took a sledgehammer to the side of it, right? And like, not a strong person, but like, someone that gave it like an 11-year-old, right? If you gave him a sledgehammer. And I'm like, this is no, man. No, if you're not tossing money off of this unit right now, I'm not taking that. And they're like, I was like, well, let's go in and tell my wife about it, because I'm not going in alone. So we all walked in, and they were just like they just hung their head down. And like, I know how this is gonna go, man. Like, yep, we all got to take this one. So yeah, man, like that's a perfect excuse for anyone, even if it's made up, which I've definitely made up. My wife's been like, just say it's my fault. I'm like, okay. Why can't I hang out with Mike and John? Just say it's my fault. Okay, sorry guys. But yeah, it could be real or it could be that.
Actually,
that's a good one, Mike. I did not think of Jerry Slay. John, is Jerry Slay on your wall of shame, or do you have someone else?
Did not think of that. For me, it was just the early mistakes. They ended up with 7 penalties, and they had some big ones in the first half, and the fumble lost. So I think between those things, I get that they're a second half team, and those things all happen in the first half for the most part, but it's the playoffs, so I didn't like that.
Yeah, the injuries were on my wall of shame, penalties, Josh Allen Hines, just some dirty plays there. I like to think I give folks the benefit of the doubt, and other team, if you ever even mention it over social media, people will be like, oh, you're soft, cry about it. And it's like, well, I'd call out one of our players if they were doing the same crap, right? Like after the whistle, like just, I don't know, kind of dirty. So it looked like the Bills kind of responded to it. But I didn't like that. It could have knocked him out of the game. So yeah, Wall of Fame honorable mention. How about Liam Cohen for not running the ball as much as he could have? Thanks to the Jags for that one. Wall of Shame also might have been some refereeing, some calls that didn't go our way. Robert Wagner says honorable mention for Wall of Shame. This Chargers-Patriots game is not entertaining. A good one. Yeah. But I mean, really, even so, the Bills were really good today about limiting turnovers. So I was putting some stats together for, the Bills regular season 2025. And one was when the Bills win the turnover battle, they're undefeated. They're undefeated when they win the turnover battle this season. 8-0. There were a couple of games where they were even in the turnover battle. They won both of those games as well. It's really when they do not win the turnover battle and at one point it was looking like that. Shaq Thompson had that amazing interception. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah.
I think McDermott did a nice job today too. Like in terms of the preparation, I thought we used the challenge. Like I'm sure we were all screaming at the TV that Trevor Lawrence was down, right? It was 4th and short and he was running and then dove forward, but his shin was down. He's just trying to wait to the last possible second to give us heart attacks maybe. But the clock management was, he felt like he kept his timeouts, and then even at the end, because you didn't know what the Jags were going to like. There wasn't any in terms of game management. I thought, and when players went down,
guys were stepping up. I like that one.
I want to say that they were, yeah.
He did a good job. If they lost this game and everything played out the exact way that it did, I wouldn't put McDermott on the chopping block.
No.
Oh, I think the last week or two for me has been, it's been a little more eye-opening. Seeing reading some of what other fan bases feel about it seems like everybody complain, just like a lot of our fan base complains about McDermott. Everybody complains the same way about their coach.
They do.
And I've just realized it more and more, I guess, as of late.
Tomlin,
I was very surprised Harbaugh was man, I think
for sure.
I don't know. I think we're lucky to have McDermott. Who would you get that's better?
You're taking a chance. It is
yeah.
It's a huge chance. People are complaining about Mike Tomlin. He's had a winning season every year.
Yeah, it's easy to get spoiled. Sure.
Yeah, and even the Harbaugh thing. So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if the Bills lost, and if they lost, if they lost in whatever today, I don't think McDermott would be in danger. But if they lost in a different way, then maybe. But I still wouldn't be.
This team never gives up. That's one of the things that's sticking with me is, they make mistakes at times, some execution mistakes. like the stupid false start penalties and the unnecessary things that are definitely coaching, and execution. But this team is never out of it. Like you watch some teams and they start to get rolled and they're just done. Like they just can't, not like they stop trying, like they just don't know what to do. Like they just don't have an answer for that, right? Like they get punched in the face and then they're just like, they have stars in their eyes the rest of the game, trying to get back to the ropes, trying to get back up. And the Bills are never down. There's times where they've lost by more than a couple of scores, sure, but they don't stop trying. They're not, it always feels like they're within, unless they fail miserably. I mean, they're in every game, if not winning it, and winning it by a couple scores. So, Mike, I'm glad you asked that question. Mike, I'll ask you this question because I think I've asked it to John the last few weeks, but not sure. If you had to get rid of one after this season, if the Bills don't make it to the Super Bowl, or they don't win the Super Bowl, they get bounced next week, who do you get rid of first? Brandon Beane or Sean McDermott? If you have to get rid of one.
Is it a trick question that
No.
I don't have to get rid of? Why would I have to? Why?
No, that's just the stipulation.
None.
It basically just says who are you more willing to get rid of if you had to.
False choice. Neither.
All right, never mind. All right, we're going to move on from this one. Let's go into.
I think they were. I think right. Like,
there's a lot of dependencies on this. Like, are they out next week, or they move on to the AFC Championship and then they're out? Do they lose? Like, what are we talking on here?
I think unless something drastic happens, you kind of have an idea of who you like more on this team, the front office or the coaching staff, right? So McDermott or Beane. Like, I have my thoughts on it, but I guess I was just thought you'd be more clear of who you would, if you had to get rid of someone. Pagula's like, a head needs to be chopped. We lost in the divisional round.
Don't you feel like, don't they have a really good working relationship? Recruit, like both came over from Carolina, and McDermott recruited Beane. Like, I think you kind of poisoned that well a little, don't you?
I'm keeping them both. If anything, it's like maybe you make it change the offensive coordinator or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping Beane and McDermott.
It'd be like you axing John. Well, that's not good because I'd be like, whatevs. Pretend you're Pagula and me and John are like best friends and you axe him. I'm gonna be looking over my shoulder constantly, aren't I? 1 foot out the door.
But if I was like, listen, Mike, this is what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, yeah, sure,
you're gonna pick the next John for the podcast. So I'll let you go. You're like,
okay. Didn't somebody request an interview for Joe Brady this last week? Who was it?
Ravens, right?
Yeah, the Ravens did. So maybe he's gone anyway.
Can I say this?
Don't you think you requested an interview to understand how his head works and then don't pick him? Like, oh, I'm gonna add this to my file. Show me your playbook. That's what I do.
I don't think they do that.
Well, they should if they want to win.
Yeah, but they're not going to tell them a playbook.
Dude, I think I can boil Joe Brady's playbook down to like 3 plays. So
they're just trying to get to know the person in these things and like understand their how they think.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like a whole like
how they think.
So I'm not going to get into Joe Brady. I'm glad you guys brought him up. But the more I think about it, the more I watch people who actually watch film and coaching, they're like, Joe Brady's an actually really good play caller. One of his biggest deficiencies is his personnel. I mean, the Bills have the highest, the receiver with the most yardage for the Buffalo Bills is 44th in the NFL. Now, whose fault is that? Is that Brandon Beane's fault for not getting the Bills a better wide receiver? Or is that Joe Brady's fault for not getting more out of his wide receivers? I used to think it was Brady. Now I'm starting to think it's Beane's fault. Because ever since Beane had that interview with WGR and he went on a rant, he's like, we don't need wide receivers. He's done everything in his power to bring in any wide receiver he possibly could, besides trade for one. Like he brought in Elijah Moore right after. He brought in Brandon Cooks. He brought in, Gabe Davis. Like he's just bringing up whatever he possibly can.
It's kind of funny that like it reminds me of the Packers. Like they never gave Aaron Rodgers like a number 1 receiver pick or anything like that, and then as soon as he left, first round pick receiver.
So I don't know if I was just asking. I was curious if you guys don't have an answer either way. I like Beane. He got us Josh Allen. I will never forget him for that.
What's your criticism? It sounded like he recognized it and tried to rectify the situation, like bringing in all the receivers.
My issue.
He brought in Diggs. Diggs was great for us. And now, so it's been a couple years. We just haven't replaced that yet. So he's done the good things at receiver.
I think
they took a shot at Coleman, not working out. So
I would say that
you're not gonna hit every time, but this next year they gotta hopefully hit.
what has he done good at receiver though since Stephon Diggs? Like I'm trying to think of a player that's been meaningful because it's not Curtis Samuel, it's not Joshua Palmer, it's not Keon Coleman.
No, Coleman was supposed to be it, but it wasn't. So now they got hit next year.
I like Kincaid. Are we
Kincaid?
Kincaid?
You know what's funny? I thought this year I was soured on Kincaid this year, and I thought that Coleman would elevate, and I was completely wrong. When Kincaid was injured, their pass offense was complete shit.
Well, he's always injured though. That's another thing. It's like a lot of these picks are like, think about how much money
No, you can't predict injury. He's healthy now. He's fine. But
okay, well, think about the defensive line. The Bills paid so much in the defensive line, and how much pressure did they really get today? Like, I mean, ever since Michael Hoyt went down, they haven't really gotten any pressure. They always have to manufacture it.
So had some pressure today, so maybe not so much. But Russo
he had some pressure, minus them having their left tackle out for the game. Like he wasn't even starting. You expect a little bit more, and the interior.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
They spent so many draft picks on the defense to have the. Don't get me wrong. I don't even blame the defense. It's like, dude, you got to spend more on the. You have to do more. I think what happened is, and someone said, Mr. Big said this in the comments. I'm just showing it now. Bean should have kept Collins. I think Bean went into this season not thinking Mac Hollins and Amari Cooper were that big of a deal to lose, which I don't blame him. I wasn't like, these guys are rock stars. But then he didn't really replace him with much more than Joshua Palmer and like Keon Coleman with another season, thinking that was going to be enough for it. Like he went into the free agency and the draft thinking, I'm good. When really, I think that he needed more. So I don't know. I'd still like Bean. There's lots of things. I mean, we're cap strapped. There's just a whole bunch of things I'm not really a fan of.
Yeah. Part of it too is you can't, like, you can want all you want, but you can't always make a deal.
Well, there was that report that the Bills could have had Jalen Waddle for a first round pick this year. And it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Could you imagine Jalen Waddle on this team right now? Like that, he automatically becomes a wide receiver 1. Then you have him and Kincaid and, Shakir. And all of a sudden we're talking about like a legit passing game. But
that would be amazing. But
I don't disagree, but a lot of times we're killing these guys for like, oh, well, we get Waddle and then he gets injured. Like, you can't pick anybody. Like, it feels a lot of the time you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Just what you were saying about the defensive players, like Von Miller and Joey Bosa, they're all always injured all the time. Well, you pick a receiver, do the same thing. Like, you have to pick your battles with this thing. Like Jordan Poyer, when they first got Jordan Poyer originally, he was injury prone, and same thing with like Hyatt. I think he had an injury, but it ended up working out really well for them. Sometimes it doesn't work out. They pick up Von Miller. He's injury prone. Oh, it didn't work out, but they take those chances, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess I just wish they hit more often with these injuries on the good side of it. That's all.
That's fair.
I don't think anyone looks at that and is just like, oh, how did that happen? Like they're like, yeah, he just did that recently. Like the fact that Joey Bosa is even standing upright right now is slightly a miracle because the guy's missed like a third of every season he's played in like the last.
Did he start almost, or he played every game this year?
I think he might have missed one game. I think.
But he's played a lot this year. He looked so winded after he missed that like reverse end around thing that they did. He was on the side like, oh my gosh.
Expect me to tackle this guy? Are you kidding me? He was done. All right. Well, let's go into some hot takes on X/Twitter. We'll end the episode with this. We also have a giveaway to do as well. So we'll do that as well. So after every game, I ask on Twitter X, what is your hot take in this win? And we'll start with Chris Bowen. Chris Bowen says, I'm still not over the refs calling that Cooks catch incomplete, along with gifting them a field goal attempt before the half. Bills were able to overcome those two travesties, but why the F do the Bills always have to overcome or get screwed over by bad officiating? Chris, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
The officiating is not consistent. It's bad.
It's bad. Why can't it be inconsistent for us, though? I will say. I would like that. Andrew Freeman, I remember, so we've been doing this podcast. This might be is this our eighth season doing the podcast? I can legitimately remember about 4 games, taking notes of 4 post-game recaps out of what? 8 times 16, 17 at this point, or 20, depending on if they make the playoffs. So like 160 games or so. I remember about 4 games saying the Bills actually got more better calls today than they didn't. I was surprised. That's happened 4 times. So it's either a crapshoot, it's either even or the Bills get screwed over. So, Chris, I don't have an answer for you. Andrew Freeman says, I'm seeing a lot of people whom I respect say the Bills should have knelt once before trying to score down 24-20. I feel like it's the first time I'm against consensus, but I like that they just tried to score right away. I don't like messing around when you need 7. I see that too.
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen there.
Yeah,
they could have messed it up. They could have got like a 10-yard loss or 5-yard loss, penalty, tackle for a loss.
Yeah.
Even just kneeling it, like that's like a yard and a half loss, and then the Jaguars defense is really good against the run, so you never know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that ain't good against the Josh Allen tush push.
It's a one.
I mean, if you're getting a 5 or 10-yard QB sneaks, I guess that's different.
That should have been the first play. They should have done 3 in a row coming out in the game. Really throw. You know how they script the first 12 plays of the game or whatever.
Should have been the whole game plan. Just QB 10-yard sneaks.
Throw a wrinkle in every once in a while where you actually pass to someone. But yeah, 40 tush pushes today beats a record, NFL record. We were just talking about firing personnel. Imagine if the Bills did kneel it down and they ended up like fumbling it or not getting the touchdown. Like who would give? I mean, there actually might be a firing in Buffalo if that happened. It's a chance to take.
Tough call.
Hot take. Big Mike says downfield threat may be opening up with Cooks. Joe Brady stayed the course by continuing to run the ball with James Cook and kept that Jags defense as honest as possible. Trey and Bishop saved the day. Hancock needs to be cut. That's a hot take. About Hancock being cut, I don't know. He's a rookie. I give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, he's not a great game. But, that being said, he's going to get a whole week now, potentially, of first-team reps. So that could help.
Or Damar Hamlin.
Dude, you were, credit.
Pick your poison.
Credit to Joe Brady. I don't know if we've said this already in the podcast, but he did call some good plays. Bills, BIL.
We need more play action, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was not happy with all the first down Cook runs. The first downs should have been more play action, for sure. Like, every first down was a 2-yard run. Did not like that. That's
one of his biggest knocks is predictability, I will say. Not that I love Joe Brady, because I don't, but predictability. Correction. The Bill says, the Bills didn't steal one from the Jags. Number 17 will not be denied. The best MFing QB on the planet. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Hashtag Go Bills. Claire says, the tip by old man Trey, the awareness of Cole to give himself up right away. I can't stop rewatching it. James Weiss has a quote from Marv Levy about fight on, my men. That quote, that was a good one. Marv Levy just turned 100 years old this year, by the way. Congrats to Marv. Jason Statham says, not really a hot take, but as long as we have Josh Allen on that field, we can win it all. This was the first fourth quarter playoff comeback by Josh Allen, I believe, as well.
Let me ask you this. What did we ever used to play? What did we play? Kickball or volleyball? Right? Like, so we have a team. And if you're 100 years old, like we didn't win a championship, and then we're 100 years old, then another group comes in, still with our same name, and wins it. Are you like, yeah? Are you like, I don't know.
Are you talking about Marv Levy caring about the team?
A little bit. I mean, the people, everyone's gone. Like, what is it still?
Well, he's probably a fan still. Like, he coached the team for so many years. Right?
Okay, so he's happy for the current group. Like that I can totally get behind. Okay.
Yeah.
But not like, yeah, me from whatever. That I just don't get.
No, I think he's just rooting for the team because he cares about it.
So Mike, I get that idea a lot because I always looked at that, I was like,
because he was buddies with Ralph Wilson. Say like, oh, like all my friends are gone. Like, what's left? Just the shirt.
Yeah. So So I always
Well, all his players, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith.
But I mean, they're the same. They're not on the team.
No, but like they're all still rooting for the Bills. It's a common thing.
I always likened it to like when you were in high school and somebody would graduate and then they'd come back to high school, be like, dude, what are you doing here? Like, is the whole point to get out of here? Like,
I feel like that makes my point.
yeah, you're like, isn't it? So that's what I always thought it was. But then, don't you remember when we interviewed Bruce Smith that one time? And you're like, I thought the same thing. I'm like, these guys are just kind of putting on a show. Do they really care? They have to, or they're getting paid by the team or whatever, right? Like, that's just what it is. And then when we weren't even interviewing him. When we were about to, we were setting things up. Like we were close to the theater. They were having a live showing of the game at Del Lago, and it was like in the theater. And he heard like the crowd cheer, and he like ran over to see what happened in that game. Like you don't go out of your way to do that if you don't care. Like, so I believe it is real. And Bruce Smith, of all people, especially as much success as he's had in the NFL, like, you know, he played for another team. Like he could have easily been like, Buffalo was a stop in the way of life of, you know, becoming a millionaire or whatever. But like, you know, he
For sure. And you can see it in like their tweets, like on X, like these players, like not even that prominent, like just like recent players, like they're cheering on their team. Nicole Hartman, he's on the practice squad right now. He's like, oh, he tweeted something today, like, you know, positive about the Bills. It's like all these guys, like they're into it. They're invested. They want to see it.
Totally get that they're a fan and want them to succeed. But I guess it's a different leap to be like, we finally did it. Like if you go back to high school 4 years after graduating and be like, the wrestling team, we did it. Like, bro, that was 4 years ago. And you went winless.
Well, I mean, if the Bills win the Super Bowl this year, I'm going to be like, we finally did it. And I've never played for the fucking team. So I don't know. That's too much different.
I think what it is, Mike, I think it's the investment. I think when you put that much of your time and effort and like, you know, just blood, sweat, and tears into a certain place or a certain organization, and that organization is still there, I think that there's just a relationship that you have with it. Like if there was a good job that you have, I mean, I can't really relate. I haven't had like any amazing jobs. I've had good ones, but not like those were the years, man. Like we were, you know, we were making a money hand over fist. Like I don't have one of those jobs. So to me, I liken it to like, you know, they have that because this is where, you know, they went from college kids to being men, you know, like is a big, huge step in their life. And then they committed so much of themselves and their bodies and everything like that to the sport. So to the team. So it's hard though, cause I don't have anything like that specifically, you know, like a sport. So I can't say that, but yeah, it's the only thing I can think of.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Charlie B says White to Colt Bishop. Bill Lasso says Trey White Goalie Academy is open for business. I love it. AJ Tharp says Trey White had a read on Lawrence all game long. I lost count of how many balls he tipped and almost picked off, and he was a catalyst for the game sealing Bishop INT. Do we only have 4 wide receivers now with Davis getting hurt and Palmer on IR? Isaiah McKenzie about to pull an AJ. We could use him now, to be honest. Like that's not the worst idea. AJ, I love it though. John, is that how many you mentioned earlier? 4 wide receivers we have total on the roster?
Yeah, right. And we don't know how bad Shavers is hurt. He came in, and was cleared to play, but like you could say the same thing about Ty Johnson last week. He was cleared to play, but was inactive this week because of injury. So they're like I said before, the only other options are Mecole Hardman, Stephen Gosnell, and then if Curtis Samuel returns from IR.
Which I don't think that's going to happen. I'm almost positive I read somewhere on social media that asked at a press conference if he would have a chance of coming back, and Curtis Samuel's no, he's done. Like I'm almost positive that's the case. So do not count on that.
At a minimum, Hardman's coming back because Gabe Davis and Palmer are done. So it's going to be Shakir, Shavers, Cooks, Coleman, and then Hardman is the 5th. And then depending on how bad the Shavers injury is, we don't know if they need to do something else.
Wait, he came back though. Was there another injury I missed?
No, he came back, but I'm just thinking about last week, Ty Johnson got hurt and came back, but he was inactive this week. Yeah. So if it's something like that, then they got to figure something out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they will. I'm sure they'll be trying guys out.
I get like this is kind of a non sequitur what you were just talking about, but it's got to be, or maybe it isn't. But to me, it's kind of weird how we're like, oh, the guy is so old, he's washed, like Tre'Davious White, like bro, he's 30.
I know.
Right?
Old
Dude,
man Trey.
We're acting like he's the old senior dog, and like we got a new puppy, and now he's just got second life to train the new puppy, and Hairston and Bishop, right? Like it's got to be weird to be like, oh, I'm 6-7 years older than this other dude, and he's brand new, and I'm done. Dude, at Thanksgiving, I'm still at the kids' table, and I'm older than Tre'Davious White, right? Like, and it's got to be weird a little bit to be like, you're done.
How was the kids' table, Mike?
It was good.
We talked a lot about video games. It was great.
I was watching the locker room thing, and like I saw Tre'Davious White, and like, dude, his abs are fucking out of this world. Oh, yeah, he's still good. He's fine. He's great, and obviously played a great game. But like, oh my gosh, these guys are
Old man. He doesn't have gray hair.
These old guys that we're talking about are athletically so good.
Dude, your brain doesn't even develop till you're like mid-30s, right?
Oh, I thought it was like mid-20s.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
I thought it's mid-20s.
No.
Just getting pushed back. Your brain doesn't
40.
develop to your
40
73.
now.
40 now.
70
Finally,
is the new 40, bro.
things are finally starting to click, man. Oh, man. Dave Arena says, Trey, man, save this game on multiple great plays. Absolutely. Buffalo Bills 439 says they don't even have enough bodies to fill a 53-man roster next week. That's another thing. Another thing that the Bills overcame besides injuries during the game was injuries before the game. And the Bills were way more injured than the Jaguars were this game. They're probably way more injured than every team going into the postseason. So one of the reasons I wasn't as confident in the Bills team has just been the injuries. Adam A says Josh's baby is going to deliver him herself. Get on the scale, fill out the chart, hand it to the LND nurse, then tell mom or dad to take a nap. They've had a tough day. I love that one. It's really good.
Do we know if it's a boy or girl yet?
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, we could use him as a quarterback once Josh is retired.
Yeah. You think that happens though? Like, unless Haley is like super athletic, don't you think, it's just like Michael Jordan's kids aren't all NBA players because you have to have like, NBA genetics all the way across sometimes,
It depends. You got Archie Manning who had Peyton and, there's things that can happen.
Maybe he picked his wife. She was like a track and field star or something like that. Like something where she was just like the top athlete in whatever category or whatever. I don't know. Like
You never know.
You never know. Amusing. Prayer's wonderful says hot take is we should have had at least 5 picks. Yeah. Don't disagree with that. Bill's defense gave the Jaguars problems. Trevor Lawrence problems. Barney says,
did you guys know Michael Jordan's kid dated Scottie Pippen's wife?
You told me that once.
That's crazy. All right, that's all.
That's gonna be creepy as heck, right? It is. Scotty is always second, always playing second fiddle. He's never the Michael Jordan, even in his own life. It's sad. Always, never getting the good contract, never getting the most points. Oh man.
You're like
maybe his wife saw that.
World.
His wife saw that too. She's like, "You're always number 2. You're never the best out there." Barney says, "Tough win." Allen took what the D gave him. Speaking of what the D gave him, Allen took what the D. Lawrence Little with Shake. Lawrence Little with Shakes. Playoff experience is a real thing. Jags D is great. That was another thing. It was, the Bills definitely had that in their favor. That's what makes me the most confident going into the rest of the postseason is besides Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen is by far the quarterback that is the best of the group that has the most experience in the playoffs. It's not even close. Besides Aaron Rodgers, of course. Speaking of guys with gray hair, he's like the only one in the NFL that has gray hair. It's just like, oh, that's relatable. That's nice. All right, cool. Jared Cooper says that the Bills lost the call to go for the touchdown on 1st and goal at the 1 with 1 minute left and Jacksonville out of timeouts would be a fireable offense. Oh, well, Jared just answered my question I put up earlier.
I heard Aaron Rodgers got married.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but nobody's met her or seen her.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right for you.
My fireable offense would have been McDermott not challenging that play early in the game.
Oh.
If he didn't do that, I would have fired him on the spot. Yeah. That would have been it for me.
Yeah, I'd have come down from the owner's box and I would have I had to get down there as quick as possible. If they had to like make a wave of like, a cart and just like bring it right on the field in a timeout, and just like take his ass.
And I love McDermott, and I'm not saying I'm a proponent of him, love him, but that one challenge, if he didn't do that, I would have been really mad.
Well, you could argue they would have lost the game if he didn't, right?
Yeah, they would have it was like a 7-point thing, and versus us getting the ball.
For sure. Rob says, my take, the head coach hasn't learned clock management. That's my take. They won in spite of the ineptitude of the head coach. You win or lose on razor-thin margins, and this coach hasn't learned his lesson.
I don't know about that.
I think he's learned a lot. Dude, remember McDermott used to use timeouts like they were just, I don't know, like they were just handing them out, right? Like his Gatorade bottles on the sidelines, just like, yep, another timeout. Like he used to do that nonstop. He's gotten much better.
I think he did a good. It was a good game for McDermott.
Yeah, agreed. That is a hot take because I don't agree with it. I think it's pretty bad. Dan, Justin says Trey White better get a ball. I love this one from Tom Dunn. Matt Prater is better than Cam Little. Nice. Prater didn't miss one.
Dude, I was but Cam Little, I was more afraid of Cam Little than Trevor Lawrence's. How messed up was that?
Yeah, crazy. Matt Prater is the Michael Jordan of this game, and Cam Little is the Scottie Pippen. Wait, Matt Prater is either Michael Jordan or Michael Jordan's kid. Dan says Jags are dirty, and the fans talk a lot of crap. In Josh, we trust. All right, cool.
Yeah, the Jaguars definitely had a lot of good physicalness after the play in this game. Yes,
absolutely. So let me do our quick winner of the Taron Johnson signed jersey. Man, I'll have to see if I can get a hold of a Cole Bishop signed jersey. Sometimes you don't know if at the beginning of the season, man, 2 Cole Bishops credit at the beginning of the season. Everyone wanted him benched. Nobody wanted him to start. They all thought he was terrible. Is he going to get cut? Is he going to get what's going to happen? And he has had an incredible season coming from that to where he is now.
I disagreed with that take. Yeah,
I disagreed. I thought it was way too quick to do that. But I mean, just think that was a lot of the rumblings, and I don't know. Look to see where he's come from. The same thing could be said. Remember, everyone wanted Spencer Brown, benched, and look where he is now. Like there are players that overcome a lot of the issues they have early on, and they make up for it, and they become really good players. Like, to me, that's coaching. So, but whatever. What do I know? So if you are interested in getting in for these giveaways, this one's a signed Taron Johnson jersey giveaway. Just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, and just DM me the picture of that so I can get that. And then also, if you leave some comments during the live stream, I've already gotten a few in since this. Robert Wagner was in a bunch of times. I already got Big Mike in, already in the past. So yeah. So if you guys want to do that, definitely get in there, post during live stream, and we'll go from there. So the winner of this one is Stu McAllister. Stu McAllister just won one recently, like I want to say 4 or 5 weeks ago. Stu's bringing it in. So yeah, once you win, you're not off the list. You can keep winning over and over again. So we'll do some more of this. We're going to do another one next week. I don't know if I have a signed jersey. I'll see if I can find one or buy one off eBay or something for the next show. Cause sometimes you don't know if you're going to keep winning, the Bills are going to keep going on from there. You never know. So, okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Thank you guys for being part of one of our best live streams ever. Thousands of people came in to watch, to be a part of this, to hundreds almost came in and gave comments. I didn't have to get time to get to all of them, but they were all really good. I'll get you guys into the section so you guys can watch again later to get a giveaway, and then you just have to listen and pay attention, and you'll get it from there. Last week, Charlie won, and he was watching it live. So he was DMing me. He's like, that's crazy. So good for him, for Charlie. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you guys for all being a part of this. Really excited to talk more Bills with you next week. So signing off for John.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Ice. Mike.
Go Bills.
And for me, Nate, do good, be good, God bless, and go Bills. We'll talk to you guys again next week.
Buffalo! Hey, let's go, Buffalo! Hey!
Thank you for listening to the Circling the Wagons podcast. Download and subscribe to us in your favorite podcast service. Email us at ctwpod@gmail.com. That's Charlie Tango Whiskey Pod @gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTWPod. And most importantly, go Bills!
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, Nate.
Well, listen, the whole show is called Circling the Wagons. Say no more. I love it.